Welcome to another episode of Poultry Times The Coop Scoop, straight from the poultry capital of the world. I'm Lauren Hunter, publisher of the Poultry Times, joined by everyone's favorite editor, David Strickland.
Thank you very much, Lauren. It's going to be a great episode today on the Coop Scoop. They all are, but we appreciate everyone tuning in today because this one's going to be very special.
That's right, David. Today we have a very special guest, Kevin McDaniel, CEO of Wayne-Sanderson Farms. Kevin, thank you so much for joining us today, especially in studio. It's rare that we get to have somebody in studio with us, so we appreciate you coming out.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Well, let's just start off with, there's been a lot going on at Wayne-Sanderson Farms recently, and especially in the news, there's been the Harrison Poultry acquisition. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that and how that deal came about and how the transition has been going?
Yeah, thanks. We had been in contact with former leadership through the years there at Harrison, and also talking with the family and the foundation there for many years. We've always admired what Harrison Poultry had, what they stood for, but we were always interested if they ever chose to sell. We would like to have an option there, and it came to fruition. We talked with the family. We knew a lot about the operation already, went through the operation and looked at the synergies. That's the main driving point, is the synergies, being able to bring that online with our current facilities. And it's really promising. It's really exciting. I'm really tickled for the people there because we retained all the talent there. They've got a great workforce. And logistically, it just fits our footprint very well, with the Bethlehem complex being where it's situated here in North Georgia. Marries up good with our Pendergrass operation. And of course, our corporate office is here at Oakwood, so we're not far away either. But really good operation, really good people, and really excited about the future for all of us.
Very good. And something we were wondering about, I know you're bringing them all in into the Wayne-Sanderson family. Will the Harrison Poultry, will that label brand be a thing anymore, or will that just now become Wayne-Sanderson product?
No, we'll preserve the brand. That was one thing that I assured the family members. They have built a brand there. They have some customer loyalty behind that brand, so there's no desire to dissolve that. We want to keep Harrison Poultry brand and the channels it's moving through, and then see if we can continue to have other success if it is bringing stuff into our brand. Very similar to what we did. We're just 3 years into the merger with Wayne Farms and Sanderson Farms to create Wayne-Sanderson Farms, and we preserved that Sanderson Farms brand. That's such a viable brand, very popular in retail channels. So we've continued to operate under it. It's got a lot of brand loyalty behind it at the retail sector. So we'll do the same with Harrison Poultry brand as well in the building goodness.
All right. And what quantities we're dealing with? I mean, there's like a plants and mills and that kind of stuff. So what Harrison have that you now have incorporated in?
Have a processing plant there in Bethlehem. The hatcheries there in Bethlehem. A feed mill, which is less than 5 years old. They built in Crawfordville down by I-20. So all that came online with the acquisition. So all those assets came over. Our plans eventually are to actually fully utilize the facilities. The plant there in Bethlehem is what we call a two-line processing plant, so it has the ability to run up to 1,300,000 birds per week. They weren't operating at that capacity. So once we build the infrastructure behind that with the hatchery, expand the hatchery, all the basics are there for the plant to be able to run at full capacity. Once we have the production of chicks available for it, feed mill is adequately, it's already oversized, so it can feed those needs.
Wow, so it's an expansion and an expansion.
Yeah. And I've had the question, what is it for the employees? And it's actually going to be job additions. There's going to be opportunities for people to work hard and bring on more people to fully utilize the facilities. As I said, the hatchery will be expanded, so that'll add employees. The plant will be brought up to full capacity eventually, and that will add jobs. In Crawfordville mill, there'll be some jobs added there because we'll run the facility at more optimal level.
Growing and building and already complementing what you're doing already anyway. So it's a good merger, sounds like. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. One of the things that I notice, I use LinkedIn a lot, and I follow Wayne-Sanderson Farms, and one of the things that I've noticed is that employees of Wayne-Sanderson Farms are very active on LinkedIn, and they're very active about sharing the great things that Wayne-Sanderson is doing. And, you know, I see that everyone seems to be happy at Wayne-Sanderson and their jobs. And so is that something that Wayne-Sanderson really strives for, is employee satisfaction and making everyone feel like they have a part in the company?
Yes, that's part of the culture we really work hard on instilling. Because if you don't have a workforce that's bought in and is all engaged in the mission and enjoys what they're doing, then you're not going to have a very successful workforce. When we went through the merger with Wayne and Sanderson, that's one of the things we did originally, right as we were starting that integration, is we did an employee survey. And basically 3 basic questions. What do you like? What do you not like? I guess 4 questions. What do you want to keep, or what do you want to add? And we went through that and actually dug into it and made it a very purposeful project to where we would figure out those things. What do we not need to do? What do we need to do? What makes people feel engaged in the workforce? You know, what do they like about their job? What could we change? Anyway, we worked through that, and we've continued that and made that an active progression where we continue to work on those things. But we're following up now, and actually we're coming back now 3 years later and saying, how are we? Give us a checkup, how we're doing. Where do we need to work? Things we need to do. But that is something we're very intent on trying to have a workforce that enjoys being there, because and part of that, we've really worked hard on retention. I had the honor a few years back, exactly right at the time of the merger, to speak at Southern Feed and Grain meeting, and I know they really wanted me to speak on the merger and what's the new company like, Wayne-Sanderson. And somehow in my mind, I had a lot of pride in what our group's done. We've really worked hard on retention and turnover. And I spoke to the entire group, which is a lot of them are my peers out in the industry. And my message there was, turnover and worker retention is not just a problem within Wayne-Sanderson, it's all industries.
Right.
And it's not like I have this, or we as a group have this secret recipe on how to do it, but we have been very intentional in working on turnover. Mm-hmm. And when I say that, we had some plants, operations, complexes that were over 200% turnover.
Oh, wow.
That are now less than 50% turnover.
Oh, good.
So we put in an intentional process, as I said earlier. We worked hard at it. And I say all that to say that if we work on it and then others work on it, you don't have people leaving jobs, going to other places and coming back around, hopping around jobs. If they're happy where they're working and they feel like they're valued and they're heard, and you've got one-on-one communication, which the key to it is the frontline supervisor having that interaction and one-on-one contact with the hourly worker. That's the key. Once you break that down, that's what it's all about. Then all of this comes about to what you began with, is people are happy to work there. They feel valued and they're glad to be a member of Wayne-Sanderson Farms. And I think that's a lesson for everyone,
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Well, a little selfishly, I always enjoy when we have a story about Wayne-Sanderson that we publish and we can tag Wayne-Sanderson, because I'm like, oh, I know all the Wayne-Sanderson people are going to see it and they're going to share it and they're going to like it.
Yeah. The world of clicks. We're going to get some from the Wayne-Sanderson family.
Well, it's also not just about the clicks. It's about, like you said, because the poultry industry is huge, but at the same time it's small. And I'm quickly learning that as someone who has been in the industry for a little bit over a year now. And once you start to get to know people, the industry just seems to get a little bit smaller, and so it's good to be able to build those connections outside of the 4 walls of our office here as well.
Right. Yeah, there's a lot of the older school people like me. It's the phrase I've heard before. The great big poultry family. Once you get invited into that family, you're in. It kind of does exist.
It does.
So tell us a little bit about the current state of business for Wayne-Sanderson overall. How is the first half, give or take, of 2025 been, and then what do you see coming down the road for 2026?
The current situation is, for the poultry area, in the poultry sector has been very good. As you know, we're currently experiencing low grain cost, which that's your highest input cost in poultry production. So the pricing on corn and soybean meal is at a favorable position. So your cost of goods going in is favorable to the poultry companies, and then the current demand is good. We've seen strong demand in, we operate in 3 sectors. We call them business units within our operation, but we have prepared foods, fresh operations, as well as retail. And we're seeing a strong demand in all 3 of those units. There's been a upkick in demand in food service and QSR channels, as well as the retail grocery store channels. Distribution is going well, so a lot of positive tailwinds right now on the poultry side.
That's great.
Very good.
Well, you guys, Wayne-Sanderson also made a big announcement recently that they are going to be the SEC sponsor, or an SEC sponsor, for the football season this year. I take it that we have a lot of football fans over at Wayne-Sanderson.
I was about to say, something that's very near and dear to our hearts here
Yes.
in Georgia.
We are big SEC fans.
That is the truth. That is the truth.
The opportunity came about probably a year and a half ago. And as you know, SEC network owned by ESPN and Disney. And that opportunity came, and we really looked at it and did all our preparatory work looking into it. But once we looked at it, our operations run from Texas all through the South, all the way up to North Carolina. So we're in the heart of SEC country.
Absolutely.
A lot of our product moves in the heart of the SEC. I mean, we move it all over the United States, but a core percentage of it goes into the SEC belt. And we know how passionate SEC fans are.
Oh, yes.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
And they love chicken.
Yeah. So we were very pleased. Yes, we're now the official chicken of the SEC. So we did our launch at SEC Days. Recently, we were down in Atlanta. They hosted this year's SEC Days at College Football Hall of Fame, and we were introduced by Commissioner Sankey as a new sponsor online. And we're really excited about it, and it's already kicked off. I mean, we had what we thought planned for our launch and kicking all that off. And it's actually created its own momentum. We actually have distributors and retailers reaching out to us where, how can we act on this? We already have customers asking about it. How do we really bring this from a point of sale and merchandising at the retail level and through distribution? How do we really take advantage of this? Because the people are already excited about it. So that makes us excited that we made the right choice in teaming up with the SEC.
Absolutely. So what does that look like as a sponsor? I mean, will there be products that come out that brand specifically for y'all as an SEC sponsor?
We already have in the grocery shelves, retail tray pack chicken, Sanderson Farms, that being the actually true brand, national brand that we have that people are familiar with. We already have. So now the bug, you look at the package and it says SEC, official chicken of the SEC on the package. There'll be more launches coming in the very near future into the retail frozen section, grocery section of some products there, prepared foods. The first one will be a concept with wings, fully cooked wing, flavored wings, and it'll be able to have that bug on it as well in the Sanderson Farms bag. We have retailers requesting that, and we think that's added some of that exposure with the SEC sponsorship. And so that'll be the first place you'll see it. There's already a sweepstakes going now. People can get online. Social media is driving it a lot, where they can enter a drawing to win tickets to the SEC championship game through our sponsorship and being the official chicken of the SEC. As you may have seen, there was some of the stuff on social media, as well as some local TV and local radio stations. We already teamed up on the initial launch with Greg McElroy, and Greg McElroy actually did some interviews and talking, and he was giving away some tongs for barbecuing and stuff like that with the SEC sponsorship and Sanderson Farms chicken, those items. So we're really looking excited to where this can go.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was about to say that those people are getting ready to fire up those tailgate grills.
Yeah.
We think we know a product you need to have there with
That's right.
Yeah, those wings sound really good.
Absolutely.
For the tailgates. All right. Well, Kevin, one thing that just impresses us so much about your resume is your involvement with some organizations in the industry. We know that you're on the board with the NCC, National Chicken Council, and U.S. Poultry as well. And so tell us a little bit more about those roles and also, quite frankly, how you have time for all of that.
Right, so you're an executive committee for those two biggies. It's like that didn't want to throw in an application for the Egg Board or the Turkey Federation or anything.
No, we feel like it's vital for us to be involved. Those two organizations help all the member companies, but they help us overall as an industry. In some, we'll split them up, like U.S. Poultry and Egg. Very proud to be involved with them. Of course, the headquarters here in Tucker, Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
And we continue to use the phrase the feather group, because with U.S. Poultry and Egg, you have the egg industry, turkey industry, broiler industry or chickens. So that's represented in all of those aspects of different parts of the poultry and egg industry. And the principal charter for U.S. Poultry and Egg is actually to research grants and help us do studies and trials and things that will help and better the industry. Things we're dealing with. There's also a little bit where we deal with some regulatory affairs and stuff like that, and also career student and career development, recruiting young talent in our industry. So there's many facets. U.S. Poultry and Egg does a phenomenal job. We have great leadership down there and great staff. But yeah, I'm real honored to be involved with that, and it gives you a lot of pride. We just had our past meeting for starting off this year, and we actually allocated over $1 million additional dollars into research funding to fund grants at the different universities for problems that the industry may face and solutions we're looking for those problems. So really proud to be involved with that. And then on the NCC side, National Chicken Council, if you go back way back, that was a spinoff from U.S. Poultry and Egg and the foundation originally to have a voice in Washington, D.C. to help there and work on our causes and things that influence, but it's strictly broiler-based companies in the National Chicken Council.
Right.
Whereas National Turkey Federation has theirs, U.S. Egg producers have theirs, but we have the National Chicken Council located there in Washington, D.C., but to help us on legislative, regulatory issues, those type of issues that face us as an industry, and also to help continuously build that bond, with people and regulatory agencies and government agencies and things we're trying to do, because ultimately we're trying to feed the people with a low-cost protein the best we can, and we think we do a great job at it. But National Chicken Council serves as a real vital role for our industry.
Absolutely. It's a phrase I've always used. Providing the world an affordable protein is an admirable cause, and it's we try to do it's what we can to do to help that cause along the way. And it's feeding the hungry of the world is a good thing. It's more research, more student involvement, more people get involved in the industry. That's all positive.
Right.
Yeah, the research side of the industry just amazes me, because I'm somebody who, full disclosure, is not a math and science person. And so to learn more about the research that is going on at these different universities, especially with the advancement of artificial intelligence and some of those things that I've seen universities working on, is just fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I saw something talking about the low-cost protein chicken. I saw something the other day on LinkedIn, again, going back to how much I use LinkedIn, that was talking about what a great protein chicken is, and how more people are preferring it over other proteins for, if you're an athlete or if you are just the health benefits of it. So it really is just almost the perfect source of protein that's also low cost. So
I'm glad you said that. We appreciate that. I think with chicken, it affords us so many different flavor profiles, and the different cuts. You know, if people like white meat, dark meat, do they like tenders, do they like wings, do you want boneless product? But you can incorporate so many different flavor profiles and preparation techniques. That's what's unique about poultry. And it's kind of funny, I grew up originally in the beef business. I never thought I'd be in poultry when I was growing up. And so I still have a passion for the beef business, but it does put us in a great place. Our life cycle turns so much quicker, so we can make moves and different things based on the way things are going. So we're able to turn the flocks quicker than when you're in the beef business or the pork business. You know, those growth cycles are longer, so any deviation takes a little longer. But the poultry affords us that. But especially on the customer side, I think just the different flavor profiles, the things we're able to do, the different cuts, we can meet a lot of different taste and preferences for people.
Absolutely. I'm already thinking about how much I want some of those wings.
Yeah. Have to go out and start looking for those things.
Absolutely. Absolutely will.
Football season's just around the corner.
It's close.
Yep.
It's close.
Yeah. So what do you see coming down the line for next year, Kevin, at Wayne-Sanderson? What are some things that you guys are looking at or preparing for or anticipating in 2026?
Well, a lot of it's more the same. We strive at Wayne-Sanderson to continue to strive for excellence, get better at what we do every day. We have a concept that we call process focus. It's basically our continuous improvement effort. But in my philosophy, you don't have a continuous improvement department. If everyone in the organization incorporates a process focused mindset, which everything involves processes. So if they focus on their process and the things they can control, the overall outcome is better for the company, better for the product, better for everything, our shareholders, everything. So if we continue to work on that, and everybody has a role in it, and I say that because it's just like quality and safety. It's not a department. It's everybody's job to worry about quality. It's everybody's job to worry about safety. Same way with continuous improvement, process focus. So saying that, we'll continue to build on our strengths. We'll solidify ourselves where we have weaknesses and do better at that. But like we talked about earlier, you'll see in this, we've just launched these product lines and the things we're doing with the SEC avenue. I think you'll see more growth in that next year. We're just getting started right out of the gate. They have the kickoff game coming up the 30th here in Atlanta. I think that's Tennessee and Clemson. But that'll be a kickoff game, and then we've got different things going throughout the season. But it's not just football. Part of our partnership with SEC is all sports. Mm-hmm. So you'll see stuff in basketball, baseball, volleyball, gymnastics, anything SEC. We're going to be involved in it, and we're looking forward to that. So we'll continue to launch that, do more stuff with products, offerings out to customers, different things to really spice that up. But as far as the industry and poultry production, things are looking good from a grain standpoint. You never know. You don't know what's coming down the pipe. There's a lot of negotiations going on globally. Mm-hmm. That may influence grain and the trading of grain, but for us domestically, it looks good. The crop looks good. We actually have a WASDE report coming out today. We'll see what the latest forecast is on bushels per acre, so that may have some influence on it. But right now, everything looks bright from the grain standpoint. And if demand keeps on, it looks like we're in a good spot. We've seen a little bit of a shift in some of your QSR fast food channels. You're seeing more and more restaurants adding and taking more space in the menu that are chicken type items. Mm-hmm. Some chains that were primarily, you've always thought of them as burger restaurants, hamburger mm-hmm. restaurants. Right. Now, it's shifted so much at chicken, they're actually selling more chicken than they are beef. So that's exciting for us. You see concepts you never thought would sell chicken products. Now mm-hmm. they're offering what started out as LTOs, and it went so well. Now it's become a standard menu item. So that speaks well mm-hmm. for our space.
Absolutely. And while we got here, I want to tell you that we see a lot of news here at Poultry Times, and we were just saying the other day, Wayne Sanderson, like, and used in baseball terms, you guys have been batting 1,000 here the last month or so. The Harrison acquisition, the SEC sponsorship. I mean, your new feed mill in Arkansas. It's like a lot of big news has been coming out of your company in the last month or so, and it's you guys have been really knocking it out of the park, and it's been a pleasure getting that kind of positive news coming from your way.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. We just had the ribbon cutting there in Danville, Arkansas.
Mm-hmm.
That was to replace a mill. It was just an aging asset, and we needed to replace it. But it's a vital part there in the River Valley of Arkansas. Danville plant's always done good. It's a real staple in that community, provides a lot of jobs, and I really enjoyed being out there. Some folks with the state as well as local community were there for our ribbon cutting, and it was really positive. Glad to see the folks come out for that.
Yeah, big news for Arkansas, an important state, and that was good news.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I don't have anything else. David, do you have anything else that you want to ask?
I'm good. This has been a wonderful conversation. Appreciate you being here.
It really has. We appreciate you coming in, and like David was saying, we appreciate all of the news that Wayne-Sanderson is willing to share with us, because we strive to keep the poultry industry updated. And so it's always great when we have partners like Wayne-Sanderson that will share that news with us and communicate with us as well, so that we can in turn share it with the industry. And we're really excited to see what else comes out of Wayne-Sanderson.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you so much for having us. Always glad to sit down and talk about the company that we feel like is a really special company.
Yeah, we are pro poultry here, and you guys are doing a good job.
Well, thank you. Thanks so much.
Yeah.
For our listeners and viewers, thank you for joining us on this week's episode of Poultry Times, The Coop Scoop. Please note that the opinions expressed on this podcast do not necessarily reflect those of Poultry Times or our advertisers. For more poultry industry news, subscribe to our magazine at poultrytimes.com/subscribe, or check us out at the link in show notes. If you have a suggestion for a topic or guest, please email us at contactus@poultrytimes.com.